Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ankerstar Wealth Market Update. I'm your host, Allison Ankerstar, and today we'll be talking about the tornadoes in Round Rock yesterday, the potential Russia-Ukraine ceasefire, and the move up in Alibaba stock. But before we begin, as a reminder, this is a financial education presentation and should not be construed as personal financial advice. Full disclaimer information is available at ankerstarwealth.com. Good morning, Steve. Tornadoes hit Round Rock last night. Is everyone okay?
Well, hey, Allie. Yeah, of course we had tornadoes here, so everyone that I know of is okay here in the Round Rock area. I'm showing a picture there from the Austin American Statesman of some of the damage that was done. All in all, I don't know if anybody was killed. Those numbers will come out today, but it did kind of rip right where Allie was. So, Allie, why don't you take a second and just tell us a quick update of where you were when it hit and what was your experience there?
I was right over in the La Frontera area, and I honestly didn't even know that a tornado was gonna happen. I thought it was just gonna be like terrible weather or something like that. And I go with my friend to go get my nails done, which is in La Frontera. My mom calls me and she's like, "Are you doing okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like what's going on?" And she's like, "There's a tornado like right next to you." And then all of a sudden the windows start shaking and starts to sound like a train, and because the wind is just picking up, and literally a few like steps away from me is a literal tornado. So a little surprised by it, but I hope everyone is okay.
Yeah, that was Irene and I and Alex were all down at volleyball out in a different part of town. So we got the word, we're watching it live on the news, and then all of a sudden there's like tornadoes in La Frontera, and of course we're like, that's exactly where Allie is. So everybody that we're with is kind of like, oh great, it's not near us. It's like, well, we have a child right in the middle of it. So a little bit of a concerning time, but happy that of course nothing happened other than to Allison and her friend. And there were some roofs ripped off in that area, some businesses. So kind of some scary times overall, but hey, tornadoes, the acts of nature, those can bring everything into perspective. So whatever your daily worries are or sweating the moves in the market, don't forget that Mother Nature kind of has the ultimate control sometimes. Respect her appropriately and take caution. So yeah, thanks for asking about that, Allie.
Next, Ukraine President Zelensky has proposed a ceasefire with Russia. How do you think this will affect the markets?
Well, so far so good, right? And there's been some talk of compromise, and that's President Zelensky. Picture of him right there. That there's a paragraph that really captures the idea of Russia doesn't want Ukraine into NATO. NATO's worried, Ukraine's worried about somebody guaranteeing its security, whether it's NATO or Russia, right? Or really anybody. They just want to stop the fight. So it's a compromise, but at least he's throwing that out there. So I think that's a fantastic sign for the potential end of the conflict, within weeks, I would say. And I've been saying that it's hope, and that maybe that's hope, but I think it's more of a reality now. And really, how's it affecting the markets? The markets are, let me hit the futures here. The markets are in the green this morning, not hugely because it's not a done deal, but it's certainly a bright spot there. So overall, I'm very excited about the talk of ceasefire.
Last, Alibaba just announced a major stock buyback. Is Baba a buy, sell, or hold?
Well, Baba's been a house of pain forever, for sure. And that's, when you zoom out, you're like, okay, it's up 8% this morning. You zoom out at all to like a 1 year and you can see it's just lost money over time. Is the bottom in? Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I'm a buyer here. We shall see how it all works out. But, there's country risk with China. There's country risk with the U.S. on banning China or delisting certain stocks. But certainly I like Alibaba as a company. And if the governments were not in the way of this company, I think they would be just like Amazon. Their stock would be screaming higher. So take the risk if you want. I personally think it's a buy, and I'm okay with moving money in here.
Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Please submit your questions as a comment through social media or directly to our email at vipservices@ankerstarwealth.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get daily updates. That's all we have for today's show. I'm Allison Ankerstar, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.